Guys, welcome back. What you can just say is there's a very terrible accident that has happened here at Nyabohanse village here. And what you can see from this kind of the spot is the lorry got a very terrible accident and it's beyond recognition, which is a bit fatal accident, and people have lost their lives here. And it's not the first one, the second one, but it's a tragedy that's occurring now and again. And they've got a winch here so you can just get it back to the garage. And also, if you're going to be having some of the insurances, it can just be processed so as things will just follow its own course. And what's wrong with this kind of the area? It's a bit traumatizing, and it's not the first one in this kind of the area. It's not the second one, it's not the third one. This is more than 5th times we are getting accident alongside. There's a bridge in front of me here. I'm going to be reaching there to give you much of the reservoirs of the hint on what is really happening at this kind of the rate here. So this is the accident that is bringing and cutting people's lives. They are going to search for the pasture, which is the greener pasture, but their lives are ending where not necessary, because the families, the brothers, the sisters, they are crying right now, the children, talking about what has happened. Is it we need prayers, or we need ancestral cultural and norms to continue in terms of the sacrifices and to the road? Now they're just kicking off from here, which is a mess that has occurred here. And is it recklessness of the drivers? Is it the road is messing? Because the road is so fine, it's demarcated and everything is fine. But what is really happening to this kind of the course? We're going to be getting really and handling much of the matters. It's beyond recognition. You can see, guys, and it was carrying a luggage of cassava, which we're going to be getting to the production of the breweries companies. But this is the status of the lorry. Very, very unconditional, which is I'm going to just be saying, rest in peace to the people who just got an accident. And this is the fatal accident we can just talk about that has happened here. So you're going to be getting to the police station, so it can just be undergoing with much of the surveillance, or the police going to be getting to know what has caused it and what has caused this kind of the accident to happen. Is it the drivers who are or talk about maybe they were drunken or whatever, the carelessness of the driver maybe, or not being careful? Because it's just a little bit of some 3 months ago, we got a very big and a very fatal accident 1 month ago, and it just broke much of the river here, and it's in a mess whereby we lost people, and it was a bang between 2 cars here, which is a very, very fatal accident we're going to be checking here. So still people are just wondering on how the lives are cut, because you can never know what's your tomorrow and where your tomorrow going to be coming from. And that's how things are just ending up whenever you just talk about going to be looking for the greener pasture. But when we subject ourselves here, we're going to be checking which kind of the substances here. People are just wondering, the motorbike riders are wondering. This is going to be also an example whenever people are going to be coming. They're going to be checking how the accident is, then they're going to be talking about, oh my God, I'm going to be going slow, or I'm going to be getting to the speed, or not going to be coming to that kind of the position here. So they had a very big luggage of cassava, going to be getting to the breweries industries here, but the mess was so terrible. Jesus. This was the slanting, and this is how it's just got an accident from here, and it's just we can call it the force of the impact of falling down made it to go up to the far point where we can see this kind of an edge is traumatizing, and the trees were just getting so serious, and they were cut like Savari Rari. You can not understand how the things were just happening here. They are now rescuing the small things that are going to be happening here, like some cassavas here, as going to be getting them where necessary, which is the way forward, because it was a very huge road that it had carried a very big load, and maybe you can talk about it was at night and the accident happened, and this is what you can just say. Sometimes we have to be careful and to the roads here, and we are just saying sorry to the people who got this kind of an accident, because 3 people already are dead here. Talk about some of I heard about there is a woman who was inside, was getting to get some of the greener pastures in Nairobi. As sometimes this kind of the talk about somebody have talked about, okay, I can give you a lift so they can just get where you want to be. But this is what is now handling, and this is what has got this kind of the position. So as we say, we have to be so keen about what we're going to be doing. It has been pulled here, and already it has just gone for assessment, so they can just see what's going to be happening next from this kind of the position. I think about the security going to be placed here more fantastic, and also the cars are going to be stopped a bit to make sure we're going to be getting slow. We have a bridge here which is very terrible whenever it comes to accidents, and so many people have died here due to the accident, and some of them are careless drivers, some of them a bit they're drunken. Most of the accidents that are happening here, most of the people are drunken and the drivers are drunken, so that's why they come here, and they're mostly happening at night, because it's just 1 month ago we got an accident. I'm going to be showing you where, and 3 months ago again there was a crowd of people got an accident, the same area, and there was talk about loose control, the lorries, and most of the time there are lorries that are transporting much of the luggages from Isibania border, which is from Isibania, whereby Tanzania border is, and getting them to Nairobi. So you can see this kind of an area. 1 month ago we got an accident here. As you can see, the road is messing, and also this kind of these are such kind of the metallic that are good in terms of handling or holding whenever it's going to be a mess. You can see this was 1 month ago only, and it was a bang between two cars, lorry and also a small pro box, and they got themselves colliding together, and so many people lost their lives. Terrible deaths that happened here. So this is a river which is here, and you can see how this kind of the river is so deep, but this is where the mess is always coming from, and you can see this kind of an edge. So this stuff here a little bit, you can see the mess and the impact. Whenever you see such kind of a road, it got an accident and it never went to the river, and it went where the tobacco plantation is. It was a terrible accident that happened. So this kind of an area, it's going to be having a little bit of a corner. From that far point you can see how this kind of the road is, and it has dealt and it has consumed a lot of lives in this kind of the road. Not only this kind of the sector, but different positions in this road, they have just got terrible accidents here. So we say we have to be keen, and also not talk about the government, because the government has done its own course. Talk about protecting the road and also making sure that everything is happening more perpendicular. But what is there is how is the person uptaking themselves? Are they getting it like okay, now I'm an experienced driver, I want to be now exercising my area. There's no bumps here, because if you talk about going to be placing here some bumps, it will be just there's a very big hill that are going to be getting to the farther point, so it is not necessary for them to put a bumps here because of getting to that hill. But whenever they're coming from the top there, you understand it's one of we can call it about the slippery point, and also there's some of the corners, and there's now coming down from the top to the bottom of the hill, so it's going to be covering a lot of speeds, and somebody can come from the upper section with a lot of speed, which is messing and also getting us into this kind of the traumatization and the fatal accidents that are happening here. So if we can just analyze it keenly, still people are just wondering about what has happened here and what's really happening, because the road is consuming daily, and these are the people who are looking. Like right now, it had carried the cassava from Sirare getting to Nairobi to the brewery companies here, because this kind of the luggage was purchased and the people are doing the business. This is what now we call the risk taking whenever it comes to the real life situation of making the business, and that is why you can see people are risking whatever they can just get, because if it could be something else, if it could be something like a maize, we could have got people could have already taken the maize, and they could be doing something which is not good, and that's why you can be talking about things are still not good here. So this kind of the road has to get people in touch and also do things which are good, and this kind of the fantastic module here. So still I think also some of the trees are good. I think also that's how people are going to be getting some of the messes here, be it one-on-one here. But the little thing they're going to be saying is we have to be so keen whenever we are just handling much of the matters, and how the matters gonna be coming. We have to handle them the way they are. So, Jesus. So you can see the gentlemen, they are here, and also the business ladies, they are here also, who they purchased the cassava. They talked about let's go for the business, and they had already talked about buy the driver, let's meet in Nairobi, or I have already made a purchase maybe today in the morning. It could have reached to Nairobi, but what is messing here? You can see how this kind of the corners are coming from the front yard there. Is a bit, if you're not so keen, you can lose the control the way the guy lost the control, and this was the resting position of that kind of the lorry. So you can see how big luggage it is, how they have talk about sprinkled all around a bit, which is a bit traumatizing whenever it comes to the business also, and we have to understand what's going to be coming out. And this kind of the position, I can say, let us keep on eyeing forward wherever you are. I know so many people are driving, people are drivers going to be watching the video, but sometimes this always happens, but sometimes it's so terrible for the families who have lost their own people, and they were depending on them. So whom they depend on again is a bit traumatizing. So let them do whatever is necessary, and also repackage and make sure you're going to be looking for another road which is already packed there to rescue this kind of the luggage, because people need to eat. Even if the accident happens, people need to eat, or the companies need the raw materials, and if this was the raw material that was needed there, it has to reach there with an immediate effect. But what people don't understand is this kind of the sorts. People don't know, like this kind of the machines, talk about the vehicles, they have insurance, and they don't have blood, like they will hear whatever going to be impacted here. We have to go slowly with the driving and also speeding, so as we can just keep other people's life, because if the driver could be so punctual and he could just get this kind of the corner, you understand this kind of the corner, how it's coming from the far end. If you miss, maybe you miss a bit, you can find yourself getting to the trenches here and causing much of the mayhem, like the way it is. So you'll think about an excavator was just digging there, but it's the lorry came with an impact from the far point, around 50 meters of sliding, until it came to rest at this kind of the position, whereby now they are repackaging the cassava. These are the cassava, guys. Very good one. They have been sun-dried, they have been bought, purchased. It's very expensive here, this kind of the cassava. But what are we going to be doing at this kind of the rate? They have to collect and also put them together and resell them, because right now they're going to be selling this kind of the luggage. But now, where the lives of the people who lost their lives here and who are they crying here is a bit crazy. So keep tuned, keep it locked. I will just be giving you much of the reservoirs that they come and how they're going to be handled here, because now the people have just dispersed, so as things will just be conducted good. So already the surveillance of the insurance companies are going to be coming to see how the accident was, and so they can just deal with it repentantly and also handle much of the matters how they always come out. So keep tuned, keep it locked. I'll be just giving you much of 2-3 things how they happen, but this is not good, because we're going to be having the mass of the couples going to be maybe buried in one of the position. Sometimes it's last time here whenever 6 people lost their own lives, and the government had to deal with it, because the government, the civil society, had to take the cost to make sure that their burial ceremonies are handled very nicely, because the lorry messed from here and it went to the upper section. Then it got people who are walking, coming from their own happiness, and it cleared them from the road, and they got themselves where not necessary. Also, the people who were in the lorry, there were 4 people, one sleeping at the back, and 3 of them were at the front seats here, and they got themselves messing, because it was not a good thing to see. Because when they were being removed out, we got all the parts were just in separate positions, which was not good for the eye of a human being. So this is a call to the drivers who are there. You can see from that kind of the position how this kind of the road is coming. Whenever it comes with a speed of more than 100, you can find itself losing the control and causing the mayhem. Even right now, we are not safe. Even where we are, it's not safe, because this is an accident spot, and it's not the first time, the second, no. It's a lot of accidents, including the road has been graded, and it has been graded into the modern way of maybe transiting, and also getting it compacted good for the transportation of people, public, commercial, much more. But where are we landing ourselves? let us not miss. Keep it tuned. Back to you in a short while. Guys, it's onto my construction here, whereby the accident has happened here. And a bit I was about to talk about, oh, can I build very close here? And I talked about, no, it will not be necessary for me to build very close to the road, because I knew the impact, because people are fearing east, west and south, talking about, oh, this kind of the accident going to be so terrible. And what people doesn't understand is this road was rebuilt and regraded with the Italians. In 1994 they reached here, and 1996 they reached in Mabera, and Nyabohanse 1996. And at that artifact, people were employed here to do the work and also access much of the things here, because the road is here and this is where the accident has happened. And the closest person will be just very near, because I'm constructing here, and it will be the closest person who is there, because these trees are the ones that I planted here, but they got the accident came, and finally they disrupted and also got onto the small forest we're going to be having there, and it messed with those kind of the trees at that kind of the panel. So a bit here, what I'm going to be speaking is the road was not passing through here, because this is a very sharp corner that even the government has to look at it keenly. The people of who are handling matters like the roads authority, maybe these are Kenha, they have to deal with it repeatedly, because the corners, talk about the corner, this is a very sharp corner that's going at this kind of, it's turning like an oval here, and whenever you're coming from the top side there with 100 speed, because this, it's just a slanting road, and you get yourself coming from there like Safari Rare, you pass here like something else here. So that's why you see the mess is there. So the road initially was passing through that far corner, it was passing through that position and getting to the top. But what has been into this kind of the way, they see the shortest route possible. That's why they just made this kind of the corners. So that's what is being handled here, and you can see this is where the terrible accident has happened, where the construction is. So I'm going to be getting to the construction to show you what is really happening, because people are missing it and talking about Ogintu. Let's get to the point and see what's going to be handled here. 2-3 things, and we're going to be solving much of the matters. Mambo iko sawa? Exactly. So we have some of the millet here, and it's just getting good, and also some maize here. So I think whenever the time we're going to be coming, the good thing that's helping me from the down there, we have a pavement that it's like a larger pavement that is there, which will create an impact. The road cannot come. If it could not be like that, the road can just come one way and pass through to the top side here. But that is not the relevant position for us to say you cannot build here. If it's development, we're going to be looking for development one-on-one, and we have some development that we are just handling here. So we are on the roofing stage already, and at this kind of the position, because we are moving. I said we're going to be building it with no stop, and that is what we are just going to be getting here one-on-one. Let me get and check here. Yeah, we are in the roofing stage here. The roofing stage. So they're going to be connecting some of the timbers here for the roofing, and also get the purlins to the top there. Mambo vipi bro? Mambo iko safi? Mambo inasonga. Twende nayo sasa. Ndio. Yote idare huko. Safi. So they are planning on themselves on how we're going to be getting things to be done here, the roofing stage, and everything is all happening good. And as I said, it's going to be built to the end with no much of talking about, oh, it's going to be stopped maybe at one position, and that will be so necessary. This is the corridor here, getting to the kitchen here, and also this is the master bedroom, and it has its own toilet there. And this is the toilet that will be shared between these kind of the 2 bedrooms, and you understand they're going to be for the boy and the lady also getting there. So getting to the kitchen, I'm going to be passing through here, and to handle the matters outside here. So yeah man, tunafanya leveling eh. Songa nayo. Mambo iko sawa? Safi. So it's a bit of a leveling here. I'm gonna be handling much of the leveling here. And after finishing that one, I think we're gonna be getting to the store, the kitchen. We're gonna be having an outside kitchen. One outside kitchen gonna be one. We have a store here for the outside, and also gonna be having for the chicken. We're gonna be having a little bit of the products of the chicken here. Gonna be handling them from the top side there. And already everything is just coming up very nicely. This is our tank tower that's gonna be here, because I told you about why we had to build it that way. It's going to be having a little bit of some complication with the family there and there, and that's just a tank tower. And also they're going to be the field here, and the walling. I think the wall is going to be a good size whenever it comes to the intruders and the people are going to be peeping in, like the lizards, to see what's going to be handled here. So I think it will be so nice there, and handling much of the matters how they always arise. So this is a septic tank, and it's gonna be also constructed upwards so as it cannot, because whenever it rains it holds a lot of water, so we have to deal with it repetitively, so it cannot be giving us a much of maybe sometimes water comes in whenever it's this is a rainy season, and can collect a lot of water. You can see even how wet it is, and also it will be breaking, collapsing a bit, so it has to get the construction from down using this kind of the blocks, so as it can be firm enough for it to handle. And also going to be using the exhausters. Whenever it's going to be full, they will just come and withdraw the necessary from the septic, and it will just handle the matters where they are. So this is how this kind of the house is, and just wait for the roofing. We're going to be coming, because they're going to be starting the roofing with an immediate effect, and it's one of the immediate effect that we are just doing here to make sure that it's going to be in a finish line. Between this December it should be finished, and the people should be staying here, and it's one of the houses we're going to be building very quickly to make sure that we're going to be handling much of the matters here. So I've seen something else in the tradition here that people always do. There's something that we call tobacco industry. The people who understand about the tobacco industry, today I'm going to be showing you how it's just made in terms of putting the tobacco together. And it's a traditional model that not everybody knows it, but you have to learn about it before you come to the tobacco industry. We have such kind of this kind of the stuffs here. These ones here. Mambo vipi? Uko chonjo? These are just some of the sticks. You can see them like ordinary sticks, but they are so strong enough. This is like a guava stick, and it has a rope from the far point. You can see this kind of the rope. So the work of this kind of the sticks is to make something like this one here. So this is already tied tobacco together in a way, like you can see how it's just zigzagged with a rope, and it's tied very firmly to make sure that they're going to be used to get to this called like a chain box of heating it with a relevant temperature for it to turn into now a best product that will be sold onto the market. So you can see how this kind of the gentleman is doing. And right now the schools are closed, and the gentleman, this is the work they can just do to get themselves very best. Mambo vipi? Yeah, you can now see how they're just making it happen. And also this kind of the tobacco should be ripe before you bring it to the industry, because if it's not ripened, it cannot be the grade that they need in the market for making some of the cigarettes. There's so many things that a tobacco can make, not only cigarettes, and also some of them use them in different positions, whatever they want to do. And what much of the people understand is the cigarettes, how they make some cigarettes. So that's how they make it. So he's touching here like this one, so you're gonna be turning. It's only the fingers are turned, and they can just turn when they're just like right now. You can see how it is, and you're gonna be checking on it's just some 4 to 5 leaves. You can see how they're just turning it, and the rope now gonna be squeezed a bit, as you can see they're just doing here. So is amatuna rengarenga mogotora atato seani atano. It's a 5 leaves per each time. You can see how you're going to be doing, and also this is how they always are getting the tobacco into one format here, as you're going to be getting to the chain box here. And this kind of the chain box, it's of a relevant temperature, and I think right now also there's a tobacco inside here, if I'm not wrong. So you can just see what's happening here. This is how this kind of the chain box is. So you can see how relevant. This is a heating position. There's a heating from the further point. It comes to this kind of the area. These are just iron sheets. They have placed it because of the cost of buying the round pipes that are metallic pipes that they can just be used here. So whenever it's hit, this how those kind of the sticks are placed here, touching here, and the tobacco will just be very fantastic here. So that's how they are just being hit to have such kind of the relevant outcome, which is the best one in terms of smoking for the people. So I don't think it's healthy whenever we talk about that, but this is how the production is, and that's how people are always making it to make sure that things are happening. Still, they have more to be placed onto the sticks there, and this is now where the fire is fired from. So they can place here some firewood, and the fire now going to be passing through that kind of the position. There's a furnace there and getting to inside, cooling, and also making sure the temperature that is there is very hot to turn this kind of the tobacco into the cracking sound, whereby that now is the best effect of making sure that things are now okay. So the tobacco also, it has some of the grades. Kuna tobacco yenye imeiva iko sehemu gani? Nataka nione. I'm going to be showing you whenever we talk about it has already got the temperature and it's ready for the market. And again, before it goes to the market, it has again another process. Iko hapa ndani. Exactly. Let me show you. This is a tobacco that's already ready, and you can see how it is. You can check. So this kind of the tobacco, you can see how they were just getting them to the string. So this kind of the things were attached to the trees that are inside that kind of the chain box, and they could just get them heated. So this kind of the tobacco, again, whenever it reaches here, it has another characteristic, because it's now removed from here, selecting the best leaves and selecting into the grades. Look at this kind of the tobacco. It has been selected into the grade, making sure that this kind of the grade is the same. And also, I'll show you another one. Look at this kind of the grade. It's the same. So again, they bunch them together like the way you can see a bunch, and they're graded according to the clarity of the tobacco. You can see this is very clear. This is another grade, and also this is another grade. And there's another grade also, this is another grade. So they grade them according to how they are just produced. A bit traumatizing smelling from inside there, it can just choke you a bit, but that is how the production of the tobacco is from the industry here. So guys, this is just my neighbor where I'll just store there some of my stuffs whenever it comes to the building of the house here. And this kind of the house is gonna be the slanting roofing. It will not have maybe we talk about, oh, it's gonna be the raised one. No, I need something like American style, whereby it will just be having the slanting roof to the back, and it will just get us not much money in terms of the investment, and also that will be so best onto that, because we needed it to be in a finish line very easily, and that's why you see we are using this kind of the roofing style. We don't need much of the raised, because also there's another house going to be coming here at the middle here, which is a story building. It's going to be built at this kind of the stage here to make sure that things are happening very, very fantastic here. So the wall is now good enough, and it's now levelizing this kind of the horizon to make sure that it's going to be a better and a good position for people also to sit or cherish and do whatever is necessary at this position here. So the gentlemen that they are making sure they're going to be having a level from the far end, and the people are still employed here to get a job so they can make sure that things are happening. Right now, the people have closed the school. Right now, the Form 4s have finished their own Form 4s, and they're back home now to get to know the real life, because in school you're talking about give me a pocket money, give me ABCD. Right now they have to work to make sure they're going to be getting something small for them. Also, they're now becoming adulthood, and they have to responsibilize themselves and make sure that things are happening outside here. So this kind of an artifact, I say thank you very much for the people tuned in and locked in. As we always being close here, I'm the one who is just surveilling very much better to understand how this kind of the road is working, and I'll be just giving you much of the reservoirs and small recaps, and also the synopsis about how things are happening equally from this kind of the position. I told you this house is going to be in a finish line with the one 1 full month, it should be in a finish line. We're gonna be starting the plaster very soon, as quick as possible, to make sure that it's gonna be in a finish line, people to live here. We don't have much of the time. If we're gonna be handling matters how they arise, we have to handle them the way they always come. That's the best for us, and we're gonna be coming to you in a short while after we handle the matters coming out. Keep tuned, keep it locked. Back to you in the studio.